In Hollows Creek, kids didn't get expelled, they disappeared. And the worst part? No one remembered them, except me. My name is Maebell, and I learned early that silence isn't empty. It listens back. Every morning at exactly 5 a.m., my grandmother and I rang the school bell. Same time, every day, no matter the weather, no matter what happened the night before. That bell meant one thing: school starts in 3 hours. But that's not why we rang it. We rang it because something in this town needed to hear it. We lived in a Victorian house at the edge of Hollows Creek, right where the woods start pressing in, where the wind doesn't just move, it whispers. My grandmother, Miss Zora, had been a teacher for 40 years. People said she was strict, fair, impossible to lie to, and they were right. But there was something else, something no one said out loud, because somehow no one could hold on to it long enough. Kids disappeared. Not a lot. Not enough to cause panic. Just one every few years. And it was always the same kind of kid. The ones who hurt others, the bullies, the ones who smiled when someone cried. One day they'd be there. Next day, their desk would be empty. Teachers moved on. Parents made excuses. Records changed. And somehow, the town forgot. But I didn't. I remembered every single one. I was 12 when I heard the scream. It came just before sunrise. Sharp, short, cut off, like something grabbed it out of the air. I stopped halfway up the hill to the bell tower, and I saw him. One of her students, standing in the fog, perfectly still. Then my grandmother stepped out of the dark behind him. Not from the path, from the dark. She didn't touch him, didn't speak, just turned and walked. And he followed, like he'd been waiting for her. The bell rang 5 minutes later. By Monday, his desk was empty. That night, I asked her where they went. She didn't answer right away. She waited until the house was quiet, until the walls started talking in that low, old way houses do when they've seen too much. Then she brought me into the parlor. That's where I saw them clearly for the first time. The mannequins. They stood in every corner, by the windows, next to the shelves, watching. Tall, still. Dressed like people who didn't belong to this time, and their mouths were stitched shut. I used to think they were decorations. I was wrong. My grandmother placed a book in front of me. Black leather, stitched with red thread. The ledger. It was warm. Too warm. Like it was alive. Quiet. Willing. They sat. They answered. They confessed. Not magic. Not a curse. Something older. It didn't chase people. It called them. And when it called, they came. My grandmother looked at me and said, "Some families inherit money. Ours inherits judgment." She called it the hush. Inside were names, dates, marks written in red. Some names I recognized, some I didn't. I didn't know it yet. But one day, that ledger would have my name in it. And when that day came, I would have to decide something my grandmother never did. Who deserves to disappear? And who deserves to come back? Because the truth is, not everyone who's guilty is the same kind of monster. And that was the moment I understood. This wasn't teaching. This was something else. Something deeper. Something waiting for me. I asked her where it came from. She looked at the ledger and said, "That is not a story you're ready to hear." And when the lesson ended, the bell rang, and they never left.